That was a little jump. And I got a piece of paper in my bike. Oh, that's funny. This is going to be my first shakedown ride on the trail. I mean, I've ridden it around the road to test out the new rim that came in from Specialized. But other than that, I've never taken this off-road. This is going to be my first ride on the Gen 3 Levo. I've owned Gen 2 and Gen 1. So this is going to be quite interesting. I also have both new tires on the bike. The Vittoria Mazda is my best tire I run on all my bikes usually, about 90% of the time. I got the 27.5 2.6 on the rear, and I got the 29 2.6 as well. I also added an extra token to the Fox 36 rhythm, so help me with the volume. I'm gonna get a token for the rear that's coming. I also replaced the seat. That is the Ergon EMTB seat. I put that on all my bikes as well. And I have the Cushcore in the front. They actually just released the EMTB version Cushcore, so I'm going to see how that goes. So it's going to be quite interesting today. Going to see how this bike rides. I am running 23 psi in the front. I'm running 22 psi in the rear. I'll see how that works with this tire setup and this being a mullet. So let's get the bike on the ground and we'll go for a little ride. Here we go, guys. My first ride on the Turbo Levo Gen 3. What a wonderful day today. I do have to work later, but that's okay. Gonna get me a nice workout in and then go to work. Well, I do notice the power delivery difference. It's not that much different than the Trek Rail, which was my last e-bike that I've owned. But it is much more quiet. I can hardly hear the motor. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but I can. We're gonna make a left. So far, the bike is staying planted. This being a mullet setup, I was concerned with the front tire going off the ground on sharp uphill turns, but on that last turn, everything stayed planted. Here's another turn, and you have to put some power in immediately. Again, everything is good. The motor is just surprisingly quiet. I mean, I am in trail mode, so I'm not in turbo mode, but it's very, very quiet. And I don't know if they did a software update or whatnot, but the bike just feels a little more natural, kind of like the Shimano EP8 that I had on my Commensal Meta Power. It's pedaling like a regular bike, you know what I mean? Here's another good turn, and front tire stayed planted. You know, I always loved the mullet setup. My Cube Hybrid 170, that was a mullet setup. My Giant e-bike, that was a mullet setup. And now I've got the Turbo Levo Gen 3 that came with a mullet from factory. It does have a flip chip, and I also can change the steer tube angle. But right now I have everything set on factory. I'm gonna see how it rides, and if I have to make an adjustment, I'll do that then. Traction with the tires is perfect right now. I think 22 psi in the rear with 23 in the front is right just for my weight. I'm not gonna adjust it right now. I'm gonna leave it as is. Haven't got any pedal strikes yet. There's a few sections where I would have gotten a pedal strike on my Trek. And surprisingly, with this being a mullet, I thought I would get the pedal strikes here, and I'm not getting a pedal strike. And I believe the cranks, these are the Praxis cranks. Don't quote me on it, but I think they're the Praxis cranks. And I think they're 160 mil from factory. But I'll probably upgrade them with the Hope cranks and get the 155s just to get more clearance. I always do that with all my e-bikes. This is my, now that's a huge uphill turn there. I just downshifted and the last turn. Whew. This is my 8th e-bike, and just about every e-bike I've owned, I've always put the Hope cranks on my e-bikes just to get the better clearance from pedal striking. Okay, we're almost at the top. I think this is like a 12 or 400 foot elevation gain, and we're almost to the top. Man, I'm telling you guys, I just impressed that the front tire is not coming off the ground. I am very happy, actually, because I was worried that I'll be popping my tire off and lose traction, but that's not the case at all. All right, we're gonna go down. Which side are we gonna go down here today? I'll probably do something in the middle. Not too easy, not too hard. This is my first ride on this bike on trail, so I don't want to go too crazy and crash. I'm still messing with my air on the rear and the front, so it looks like my front I have set up correctly. In my rear, I think it's 45% sag. So I need to ride this a few times in the trail and then adjust accordingly. All right. Man, tell you what, I'm getting a workout today. You definitely get a workout riding an e-bike. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Oh. All right, we're not gonna go down chaotic zone. That's a blue square. We're gonna go logging road. How about that? Let's go logging road. I guess I'll really test out the brakes today. A lot of guys say all they do is replace the pads on these Code Rs and the brakes work fine. So I might have to just replace the pads. Whew. You know what? The brakes actually are not that bad. I mean, they're not good as the Hayes Dominion A4s, but they're pretty close, actually. Whew. Little whip there. No more creaking sounds from the rim, which is good. Whew. That was a little jump, man. All right. You know, this bike is actually pretty damn nimble. I don't know if it's because of the mullet setup, but staying planted and It does what I want it to do. I think the suspension is just right now. Whew. Oh. Whew. Man, I forgot about that little jump. There's a lot of loose gravel over here. I think after the rain, kicked a bunch of the gravel onto the trail. This trail is fun during the wintertime, especially when it snowed. I definitely had some fun here. Woo. Okay, all right. You know, the brakes actually work quite well. I'm surprised. I read in the forums a lot of guys would just bleed the brakes. I guess that was the biggest issue when they got their brand new bike. The brakes weren't bled correctly, so they had some air in the lines, which messes up your power of the braking. Man. That was fun. Whew. Time to climb again. Oh, I'm gonna drink some water. I'm gonna drink some water here on top. Man, this bike feels feels very, very nice. Now it is Father's Day coming up. Today's the 12th. I think Father's Day is what, the 16th? Industry 9 is running a sale right now. I think 30% off on select rims and accessories. So they do have an upgraded version of the rims that I had on my Trek. On my Trek, I had, what did I have on my, I had the 305s. Yeah, I had the 305s, version 2s. And they do have a sale right now on the mixed set. So 29 in the front, 27.5 in the rear, with the Hydro Hub, which I believe has like 690 points of engagement and 32 spokes, the straight pull spokes, and they are rated for e-bikes. And I think the price is like $1,100. I really don't want to buy rims right now, but honestly, for that price, I might just get them, because I don't know when the next sale is going to be, and that's a really good price for some Enduro 300s, which have a better rim joint build, so they're a lot more durable and resistant against bending the rim compared to the 305s that I had. I never had issues with my 305s ever, so if these are better than the 305s, I'll never break them. And they come with 32 spokes, which are rated for more weight and for e-bike applications. So I might get those. Now, I did want to get some custom ones from Industry 9 where I can put some gold spokes in there. But what I think I'll do is I'll order like 6 gold spokes from Industry 9, and I'll just take the rims to my bike shop and have them put 3 on each side, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear, and I'll just put new rim tape on, and we'll call it good. I think they're like $8 or $9 a spoke from Industry 9, so if I get 6, you know, it's not gonna be that bad. About 50 bucks or so. I think I can manage that. Oh. All right. Well, like I said, guys, I'm very, very impressed with this bike. My first ride on the Gen 3, And you know, there's a reason why I keep going back to Specialized. The biggest reason is the warranty. You know, my last warranty with them, it wasn't so great in the beginning, but after I contacted them and told them what's really going on and how I feel, they helped me out. They sent me a whole new wheel. So I can't say Specialized didn't take care of me. They just at first didn't go right about the whole situation, but they made it right at the end. But the customer service is number one, and number two is just the power. This has 90 newton meters, so it has a little bit more power than the Bosch, which I think it has 85 newton meters. But tell you what, this thing just feels a little more natural than the Bosch, and this has more power. They must have done something with the software update, because it just feels better than the Gen 2 I had. And the geometry is insane. My last Levo, I would pop the tire up when I had some crazy climbs, and that was a 29er front and rear. This thing's a mullet, and this is staying planted. I don't understand. I mean, I'm happy, but they obviously did some geometry upgrades when they built the Gen 3. These tires, guys, they're doing their job. They're the Vittoria. Now, I used to pay more money, and I used to order the E-Mazdas, but after talking to a few people at races, they told me that it's a gimmick. They basically said the Vittoria Mazdas and the E-Mazdas are the same exact thing. And I ordered the regular Mazda, and I compared them to the E-Mazdas, and they had the same tread pattern. Exactly the same. So I don't know, it's just maybe the material's different, like the rubber compound, but to me it looked exactly the same. So I just put the regular Mazdas on this setup here, and I'm very happy with that. No loss of traction, perfect grip, keeping on corners and not spinning out or anything like that. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish my ride and go drink some water. I'll talk to you later.